Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going deep into essentialism, and not just the theory, but how to actually live it over the next 90 days. What makes this deep dive really interesting is that you sent in the Essentialism Planner, a daily guide in Chinese. I have to admit, a 90-day planner focusing on doing less sounds intriguing.
It is quite fascinating. This planner isn't just about scheduling. It weaves in weekly reflections, quotes from Greg McKeown's books, Essentialism and Effortless, and even challenges from his weekly newsletter. It really tries to guide you towards applying the philosophy to daily life.
So before we crack open this planner and get to those daily challenges, let's step back for a second. For someone who might be new to this, how would you describe the core idea of essentialism?
Imagine you're at a crossroads, and there are a million paths leading in different directions. Essentialism is about pausing to identify the one path that truly matters, the path that aligns with your values and goals. It's about consciously choosing to focus your energy on that path, even if it means saying no to all the other enticing but ultimately distracting routes.
I love that analogy. It's so easy to feel like we're constantly pulled in a million directions trying to do it all and be everything to everyone. So how does this planner help us break free from that scattered approach and step onto that one essential path?
One of the first things this planner emphasizes is the importance of regular reflection. It encourages you to step back every 90 days and ask yourself some tough questions like, what am I over-investing in that's draining my energy and pulling me off course? And what have I been neglecting that might actually bring me closer to what truly matters?
It sounds like this charging period, as the planner calls it, is all about consciously choosing where to direct our energy instead of just reacting to whatever demands come our way.
Exactly. And what I find particularly interesting is that the planner doesn't just focus on cutting things out. It also asks, how can I make the essential things I'm already doing effortless? It suggests that by removing friction from our daily routines and systems, we can create more space for what truly matters.
Okay, so we've got this concept of charging to realign with our priorities. But let's say you're in the thick of those 90 days and that million-path crossroads pops up again. How does this planner help you navigate those daily choices?
Well, it introduces some interesting tools like the half-hour power. The idea is to disconnect from technology for 30 minutes each day and use that time to assess what's happening in your life, why it matters, and what action is most important right now.
It's like a mini reset button for your mind, helping you cut through the noise and reconnect with what's truly essential. I can definitely see the appeal of that. What about other tools or strategies?
There's the 1-2-3 method, which focuses on identifying your one top priority in 3 key areas of your life. This could be work relationships, personal growth, anything that's important to you.
So instead of getting bogged down by a mile-long to-do list, you're identifying the most important task in each area, ensuring you're making progress on what truly matters without feeling overwhelmed.
Precisely. It's about making conscious, deliberate choices about where you direct your energy each day. But what sets this planner apart is how it goes beyond just these tools and actually incorporates daily challenges.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. What are some of these daily challenges and how do they connect to the bigger picture of essentialism?
One challenge that resonated with me encourages you to replace the phrase, I have to, with I choose to.
Wait, what? How can such a small change make a difference?
It's about shifting your mindset. When you say I have to, it implies obligation and a lack of control. But when you say I choose to, even for something you may not be thrilled about, you're acknowledging that you have a choice. This simple shift in language can be incredibly empowering. It reminds you that you're not just reacting to circumstances, you're actively shaping your life.
Wow, I'm starting to see how these daily nudges can really help rewire your thinking and make essentialism a habit, not just something you think about occasionally. What other intriguing challenges does the planner offer?
There's one that caught my eye. It challenges you to notice how often you connect with people far away through technology while neglecting those closest to you. It's a reminder that physical presence and quality time are often sacrificed in our hyper-connected world.
It's so true. It's like we've become masters of maintaining distant relationships while sometimes taking the ones right in front of us for granted.
Exactly. And that ties into another challenge that focuses on breaking free from autopilot. It asks you to identify an area where you're doing something purely out of habit, even if it no longer serves you or aligns with your values.
I think we all have those areas in our lives, those routines or commitments we keep repeating without questioning whether they're truly necessary or beneficial.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is that this challenge doesn't stop there. It pushes you further by questioning the assumption that if something is important, it must be difficult.
Okay, that one really challenges the way most of us approach productivity and success. How does the planner suggest we overcome that ingrained belief?
It encourages you to explore making the essential things effortless. It prompts you to ask, how can I design my life in a way that makes the important things easy and enjoyable?
That's a brilliant reframing. Instead of glorifying the grind, we can focus on creating systems and habits that support our essential goals without feeling like a constant uphill battle. So this planner is really drawing from both essentialism and effortless to create a holistic approach to living a more intentional life.
Exactly, and I think that's what makes it so powerful. It's not just about doing less. It's about designing a life where you can effortlessly focus on what truly matters.
This is fascinating, but before we get too lost in these intriguing challenges, let's take a step back and dig a little deeper into how this 90-day plan actually guides you through implementing those changes. Okay, so we've established that this planner isn't just about scheduling your day. It's about guiding you on a 90-day journey towards embracing essentialism. But I'm curious, how does it actually support you in implementing these big shifts in mindset and behavior?
One of the key ways this planner helps you translate those big ideas into daily actions is through these weekly reflection prompts. Imagine this, it's Sunday evening, and instead of dreading the week ahead, you sit down with this planner and ask yourself, what went well this past week? What felt effortless? And where did I feel resistance or like I was pulled off course?
It sounds like a much more intentional and insightful way to end the week than just scrolling through social media or mentally running through your to-do list for Monday morning.
Exactly. It's about taking that time to pause and assess whether your actions are truly aligned with your priorities. And what's really interesting is that these reflection prompts encourage you to look beyond just what you accomplished. They ask, how did I feel? Where did I experience joy? And what can I learn from both my successes and my struggles this week?
So it's not just about checking things off a list. It's about connecting with how those actions actually made you feel and whether they contributed to a sense of purpose and well-being.
Precisely. And that ties into another crucial aspect of essentialism that this planner addresses, the importance of setting boundaries. There's a quote from the planner that I think captures this perfectly. It says, if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will.
Oof, that's a bit of a wake-up call. But it's so true. It's easy to get caught up in responding to other people's demands and feeling like we're constantly at the mercy of our inboxes and notification.
Exactly. And what the planner emphasizes is that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect, and ultimately it allows us to show up more fully for the things that truly matter. It even offers specific phrases to help you politely decline requests without feeling guilty or like you're letting people down.
Oh, I need to hear these. Saying no gracefully is something I'm always working on. What are some of the phrases it suggests?
It offers simple yet effective options like, I'm flattered you thought of me, but I'm overcommitted right now. Or, I appreciate you asking, but I need to focus my energy elsewhere at the moment. It's about being honest and direct while also being respectful of the other person's request.
I love that. It takes the pressure off of coming up with elaborate excuses and allows you to communicate your boundaries clearly and confidently.
Exactly. And what the planner highlights is that mastering the art of saying no is a skill that requires practice. It encourages you to start small, maybe by saying no to something relatively low stakes and noticing how it feels.
That's such good advice. It's like building up a muscle. The more you practice setting boundaries, the easier and more natural it becomes. But let's be honest, even when we know we should say no, sometimes those feelings of guilt or the fear of missing out can creep in. How does the planner address that?
One of the most valuable insights the planner offers is that these feelings of guilt often stem from deeper beliefs about our worthiness. It suggests that if we believe we're only valuable when we're constantly helping others or saying yes to everything, setting boundaries can feel incredibly threatening.
It's like we tie our self-worth to our ability to please everyone and be everything to everyone. So setting boundaries could feel like we're rejecting those expectations and potentially disappointing people.
Exactly, and the planner encourages you to challenge those beliefs by asking yourself, is it truly my responsibility to solve everyone else's problems? And if I prioritize my own needs and goals, am I somehow becoming a bad person?
Those are powerful questions, and it seems like this internal work examining those deep-seated beliefs is just as important as the external work of setting boundaries and saying no.
Absolutely. And the planner provides space for this kind of reflection through journaling prompts and exercises designed to help you connect with your values and build a stronger sense of self-worth that's not dependent on external validation.
It sounds like a truly holistic approach to essentialism. It's not just about managing your time and tasks. It's about transforming your relationship with yourself and the world around you.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that essentialism isn't just a productivity hack. It's a philosophy that can permeate every aspect of your life, from your work to your relationships to your own sense of self.
I'm really appreciating how this planner goes beyond just listing quotes or principles. It actually provides concrete tools and practices for putting those ideas into action. What are some other features that stood out to you?
One thing that struck me is how the planner incorporates elements of mindfulness, It encourages you to cultivate a sense of awareness throughout your day, noticing where your energy is flowing, how different activities make you feel, and where you might be holding yourself back with negative self-talk or limiting beliefs.
It's like it's prompting you to become an observer of your own thoughts and behaviors so you can start making more conscious choices about how you spend your time and energy.
Exactly. It even includes simple mindfulness exercises you can incorporate into your daily routine, like taking a few deep breaths before checking your email or pausing to appreciate the beauty of your surroundings during your commute. It's about bringing that essentialist lens to even the most mundane moments of your day.
I love that idea. It's a reminder that essentialism isn't just about big sweeping changes. It's also about finding small ways to bring more intention and presence to your everyday life.
And that's what I find so compelling about this planner. It acknowledges that living an essential life isn't about achieving some perfect state of Zen-like calm. It's about continuously making choices that align with your values, even amidst the chaos and distractions of modern life.
It's about progress, not perfection, right?
Exactly. And the planner recognizes that this journey will look different for everyone. It encourages you to experiment with different tools and strategies, track your progress, and celebrate your wins along the way.
So it's really like having a personalized guide for this 90-day journey. Speaking of guides, the planner also includes numerous quotes from Greg McKeown's books. Let's talk about some of those. What were some of the quotes that really stood out to you as particularly powerful or insightful?
There are so many gems to choose from, but one that really resonated with me is, essentialism is not about how to get more things done, it's about how to get the right things done.
That really cuts to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's so easy to get caught up in the productivity trap, constantly striving to check more boxes. But this quote reminds us that it's not about quantity. It's about quality and alignment with our purpose.
Exactly. And it connects to another quote from the planner that really struck me. What if we stopped celebrating being busy as a measurement of importance? What if we celebrated how much time we had spent listening, pondering, meditating, and enjoying time with the most important people in our lives?
Wow, I love that shift in perspective. It's like a radical redefinition of success. It's not about how much we cram into our schedules or how many achievements we can rack up. It's about how we choose to spend our precious time and energy.
And the planner challenges us to consider, what would it look like to create a life where those essential activities, connecting with loved ones, engaging in meaningful work, taking care of our well-being, weren't just squeezed into the margins of our busy schedules, but were at the very center?
It's a beautiful vision. It's about designing a life that feels spacious and aligned rather than constantly feeling like we're playing catch-up or struggling to keep our heads above water.
And what's really inspiring is that this planner provides a concrete framework for moving towards that vision. It breaks down the seemingly overwhelming concept of essentialism into manageable daily steps.
I'm really starting to see the appeal of this planner. It's not just a collection of quotes or abstract ideas. It's a practical guide for creating lasting change.
It is quite impressive, and one of the most valuable aspects is that it emphasizes that this journey is a process, not an endpoint. There's a quote from the planner that captures this beautifully. The way of the essentialist is not about getting every single thing right. It's about creating a system for making better decisions, choices that eliminate the non-essential, so we can focus our energy on the things that really matter.
So it's about building those decision-making muscles, learning to discern between the essential and the non-essential, and continuously course-correcting along the way.
Exactly. It's about embracing the journey, being kind to ourselves when we inevitably stumble, and trusting that with consistent effort, we can cultivate a life that feels both meaningful and effortless.
Well said. This has been such a fascinating exploration of this 90-day essentialism planner, and I have to say I'm feeling incredibly inspired to incorporate some of these ideas into my own life. But before we wrap up, there's one more aspect of this planner I'd love to delve into. It includes prompts and challenges that encourage you to look beyond your own personal goals and consider your contribution to the wider world.
That's a great observation. It's so easy to get caught up in our own individual pursuits, but this planner reminds us that true fulfillment often comes from aligning our actions with something larger than ourselves.
Okay, let's talk about that in our next segment, but first we'll take a quick break. We're back, and I'm really curious to dive into this idea of essentialism as something that extends beyond just our personal lives. You mentioned the planner has prompts related to contributing to the wider world. What's the thinking behind that?
It's quite thought-provoking. The planner suggests that as you become more clear about what's truly essential in your own life, you naturally start to consider how your unique skills and passions can make a positive impact on the world around you.
It's like that ripple effect, right? When you're living in alignment with your own values, your actions naturally start to radiate outwards and influence the people and communities around you.
Precisely. And the planner frames it in a really interesting way. It asks, what is the smallest possible contribution you can make that will have the biggest possible impact? It's a reminder that we don't have to wait until we have some grand, world-changing idea to make a difference. We can start right where we are with the resources and opportunities they have available to us.
So instead of getting overwhelmed by the enormity of global issues, we can focus on identifying those small, specific actions that are within our reach and that align with our unique strengths and passions. What kind of prompts does the planner offer to help you identify those actions?
There's one that really stood out to me. It asks, what cause or issue makes you feel most alive? What problem in the world you feel uniquely equipped to solve? It's about connecting with that deep sense of purpose that often lies dormant beneath the surface of our daily routines and obligations.
It's like an invitation to tap into that inner fire, that burning desire to make a difference that we all have within us.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that the planner doesn't just focus on external actions. It also encourages you to reflect on how your internal states, your thoughts, beliefs, and energy contributes to the world around you. There's a quote from the planner that captures this beautifully. It says, "The world changes according to the way people see it, and if you can change even one person's perspective, you've changed the world."
Wow, that's powerful. It's a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness, compassion, or understanding can have a ripple effect far beyond what we can imagine.
And the planner challenges us to consider how we can become more conscious creators of the kind of world we want to live in. It asks, how can you use your unique gifts and talents to bring more beauty, love, or justice into the world?
It's an invitation to step into our power as agents of change, not just passive observers of the world around us.
And it encourages us to see our work, our relationships, our creative expressions, and even our everyday interactions as opportunities to contribute to something larger than ourselves.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Precisely. And this planner provides a framework for putting that wisdom into action. It helps you identify your unique strengths, connect with your deepest values, and then channel those into meaningful contributions that align with your essential purpose.
It's been such an insightful exploration of this 90-day essentialism planner, and I have to say I'm incredibly impressed by its depth and practicality. It's not just about productivity or time management. It's about aligning your life with what truly matters, both personally and in the wider world.
It really is a unique approach, and one of the things that struck me most is how the planner weaves together these seemingly disparate elements, mindfulness, boundary setting, purposeful contribution, into a cohesive whole. It highlights that living an essentialist life isn't about compartmentalizing these different aspects, but rather integrating them into a harmonious way of being.
It's about recognizing that all these pieces, our inner world, our outer actions, our relationships, our work, are interconnection, and that by aligning them with our essential purpose, we can create a life that feels both meaningful and effortless.
And what I find particularly inspiring is that this planner isn't prescriptive. It doesn't dictate a specific path or set of rules. Instead, it offers a framework for exploration, inviting you to experiment, reflect, and discover what essentialism means for you in your own unique life.
It's like a personalized journey of self-discovery guided by these timeless principles and practices. Well, I think we've covered it all. A huge thank you to our listener for sharing this incredibly insightful and inspiring resource.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you.
And to all of our listeners, if you're feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or simply longing to live a more intentional and fulfilling life, we highly recommend checking out the Essentialism Planner. It might just be the catalyst you need to start creating a life that truly reflects what matters most to you. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.